Merry Christmas, Internet. The time is 11:56 on December 25th, 2021. Happy holidays. Um, I hope those who celebrated Kwanzaa and Hanukkah had great holidays. Um, Festivus, all that good stuff. Um, Hope y'all are keeping safe from the coronavirus. I just got through a coronavirus scare yesterday. So yeah, pretty terrifying, but we're not here to really discuss that stuff. Um I saw one of those send me a number posts on Facebook and it had about 40 questions, and I love seeing those posts when I have time off because it means, ooh, if my friends are really like rocking with me, they'll send me 40 comments and I'll have 40 questions to ask about myself. And one of my former coworkers, a dear friend, hi Bella, was like, yo, you should turn this into a stream. Or rather, she was like, you should record this for me because we have this arrangement where I would like record this specific like book series. I'm not going to mention it online in case they try to sue me. And I think I got to book five, but then I kind of fell off because I'm depressed and I'm also very prone to procrastination. So I figure if I do it this way, I have to finish because I normally stay up to 2 in the morning anyway, and I have a closing shift tomorrow. So why not? Nobody's home but me. I hope my neighbor doesn't mind me recording at the middle of the night. Hopefully they went to go see family. Sorry, Brittany. Okay, so let's get started. A few housekeeping things. Church announcements. Shout out to Kev on stage. Um, in the description, you will see a link to the Metal for Brains podcast. It's one of my more favorite podcasts. I think I'm only on episode three because, again, prone to procrastination, but I follow one of the hosts on Twitter and on Instagram, Corey, and they posted a very alarming tweet about their personal situation. I put the link to the tweet in the description along with their hashtag and a the Stitcher link to their podcast. So if you want to support Black creators who are passionate about heavy metal, you can listen to that show. You get a lot of great insight. There are about 30 episodes. If you're already listening to my podcast, you can listen to theirs. So if you're feeling jolly, if you're feeling charitable, please consider retweeting the link or like posting on your socials. So maybe like the burden is eased a little bit. Corey, we're thinking of you. Cheers. In the name of Tony Baker, this podcast is sponsored by water. Drink more water. It's good for you. I'm going to drink it live on camera. Oh, delicious. So good for you. Last thing I want to say is that I am so close to 300 subscribers on YouTube. And what I love to do is some sort of like charitable event. And like, if you give me, say, I don't know, like $10, I'll like review one of your favorite songs or something like that. Cause I want to like get more into the like reviewing songs. And I want to do like 10 of those. So like, oh, hey, shout out to the young homie. Juju on that beat. You heard? Hey, everybody here, like, you better subscribe to the homie because the content they're putting out, ooh, A1, period. But yeah, like, if I can crack 300, we're gonna do like a charity stream, 10 slots, and we'll review some songs. It'll be great and it'll be for a good cause. I'll put that up when I actually crack the barrier. I've done it on TikTok, but I think it's a lot easier now since there's that whole like follow for follow thing with musicians and like music minded people. But I digress. Let's get straight into these questions. I've already answered some of them on Facebook, and it should be fun. It's very low stakes here. If you're like not asleep, want to hang out with the homie, here I am. Let's get it. Question one: relationship status. I'm taken. Okay, like all you little perverts out there online, like you ain't got no chance. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay, shout out to the love of my life, the best boy. You know who you are. You are my heart. Question two, favorite video. Ooh, okay, so full disclosure, I may have to find answers to these questions as we go along. And you know what? Since Juju was so kind to drop by on the stream, I'm gonna have to put one of their videos in the live comments. So just give me a minute to track one down because I find their content just as inspiring as the folks over at Metal for Brains as far as making like video essay esque content in regards to the galaxy of music around us. So I'm gonna pick one of the videos that kind of inspired me to make my own response to it, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna pull that up right now. Um, while I'm pulling that up, if since I'm talking about like music related content, 9 hours ago, my Canadian uncle Nardwar, the human Serviette, finally linked up with Cole after we were after Cole promised to do it like a couple years ago. He made good on his word. We get 58 minutes and 22 seconds worth of content, and like not to be emotional and shit like that, but I really truly love Nardwar. Like I don't think there's a better person in the game doing what he does at all. You know what? Screw the one I was gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up Twitter Fingers um by Juju because this video has only oh it's a diss track. I don't know if I want to reincite the beef. I'll go back to the one that I had. Also, shout out to Juju for having 182 videos. Blink. Let me see. Ooh, this most recent one. Oh, heck. All right, I changed my mind a third time. I'm going to select the best and worst hits of 2021 by Juju F. I'm going to just leave a dadgum URL right there in the live stream comments because I get to do whatever I want and you can't stop me. Oh, for sure. Like, my pleasure. Like, let me tell you something, Jew. You Zoomers are like putting a battery in my back. Like, I'm almost 30 years old. I wish I was doing the kind of content you're doing like a decade ago when I was like fresh out of high school, like going to tech school, not knowing what the hell I was doing. Like, it really took like my co-host on the podcast I'm on now to say we can do this, we should do this, and like all the tools are right here. And who knows what my content would have looked like a decade ago, but we're here now, and it's because of people like you. So let's see, pop that right in there. I'm just gonna leave that up for a little while. Copy and paste that. Yeah, I just like screenshot this and like put it into another tab and like leave a like, leave some constructive criticism there. It's number two, my favorite video at the time. I love like best and worst lists. I look forward to that shit every single year. I like collect them like a hoarder. Like my favorites right now is almost 5,000 videos deep, and now I'm just filling up the watch later with the same kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to this. I might just drop a like on there right now. Boom, 18 likes. That's how we do. All right. All right. That's staying up for a little while. So boom. Come on, right? It's the best shit ever. All right. Question number three. Favorite song. Now I'm gonna cheat because one of my in real life friends was like, ooh, number three, when I put the post up. And I chose Little Deer by Spelling. I came to that song because the internet's busiest music nerd, the melon himself, Anthony Fantano, was on Twitter, like just tweeting as he does, and put up the link to this song. And I'm like, well, you know what? Fantano's never been wrong before. Haha. So I put the song on while I'm walking to Wawa before I go to work. And I had never heard something so beautiful in quite a long time. And it really like gets my goat to like listen to a black artist and realize where the heck have you been all this time? There's so much of us. There's so many black people making good stuff, not getting their time in the sun. And if they're not getting like national coverage or syndicated radio play, motherfucker, you better be the fucking like ruler of your local scene. Like, no, I don't like, it makes me so angry when such an underrated talent is just like being just like lifted up by white hipsters. And no shade to the white hipsters, they're doing the Lord's work clearly, but like, why aren't we like the hoity-toity like snobby black folks putting up artists like Spelling? Because I've only seen support for her from Fantano and Eric the Young God. Literally nobody else. Maybe Pitchfork and Consequence of Sound, but again, the white folks work there. Where are our platforms? Like lifting up these indie cool artists. I hate that shit. It makes me so mad. But rant over. Question number 4: top 3 movies. I also got this question earlier, and I googled like the 100 best movies, and I picked 3 of them because it's hard to answer a question like that on the spot. And I ended up choosing Mad Max Fury Road because that one's dope. You know, witness me. Ah. I chose. What did I choose? I'm gonna go back to the fucking question. Scroll. Wait, was it number 5 or number 4? Oh, I totally screwed up. All right, I'll come back to the movie shit later. Number 4 was like favorite anime, and this question was asked by a coworker, but he asked for an extension, which I think will provide you with more content. So let's go through what I picked because I didn't pick my top 5 because I feel like that shit's gonna shift all the time. But the ones that I picked were Eureka 7, which is my favorite mech anime, Yakitate Japan, which is about bread, is pretty wholesome. Mawaru Penguin Drum, which was one that I really liked but never finished, and I don't know if it's held up over the years. Like I watched it a decade ago. Genshiken, because I feel like it's one of the few like uh slice of life that's like focused on like young adults, like actual young adults, like people in college and beyond. And Samurai Champloo, because that that shit's a classic. Like it's a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. And I don't know if I want to go into that now without rewatching it first, but boom, there you go. You get 5 for the price of 1. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. You know who you are. Let's go back to the top 3 movies. I ended up choosing yeah, I picked Mad Max Fury Road, No Country for Old Men. Whew, that's a tough watch. And Across the Universe because I'm a cheeseball. I love musicals. I wanted to be an actor once upon a time, which you'll hear more about that later actually. Let's see. Number 6 is the top 3 television series. Okay. That shouldn't be too hard. Let's go with the Watchmen TV show was super great. I loved that. Let's also do Umbrella Academy because I was really fond of the comics when I finally got my hands on them. And let's also do Ozark. I really, really like Ozark. So chew on that if you haven't had a chance to watch those things. Not necessarily my top 3, but those are 3 solid choices, at least in my opinion. Number 7 was the best day of my life. That's a really hard question to ask, but I'll pick this one in particular. When I was in high school, I had the opportunity. This is my senior year. I had the chance to be Mr. Gaithersburg, and every there were like 12 of us, and I forget what month that was, but I wore a poncho and had an umbrella as my costume, and I had to display um a talent of mine, and I'm a subpar singer. And so I chose to sing some John Mayer because I purchased Room for Squares. I think when I was either in my, I want to say my either my sophomore year or my junior year. And so I sang Why Georgia, and I think I did a decent job. And I didn't win like the competition. They gave it to a Michael Jackson impersonator. And my dad, who I had a very let's just say rocky relationship with, he drove me home that night, and he was just like, my son actually displayed some talent. Not to say that the guy who impersonated Michael Jackson wasn't talented, but I like to say that, like, if you're somewhat decent at dancing, you can pull it off, but not a lot of dudes could pull off the moonwalk well. And he had the outfit, he had the mannerisms down pat. Plus, Jackson just died, so shooing for the win. But the fact that my dad preferred what I did to the other guy gave me a little bit of pride. And so, thanks, Dad. I miss you. I love you. Rest in peace, Kevin Vernon Owens. Worst day of my life, the day he died. Ha, cop out, but like, I'm still processing the trauma of losing him. So, hey, if you're a black man, do your best to prioritize your physical health. I'm kind of a hypocrite in that way because I still need to choose like a primary care physician, but it's consistently on my mind. Like, I'm thinking maybe I should go vegan. Maybe that'll help me live longer. That's why I don't like do drugs or drink or anything like that, because it's like, let me do like the least bit that will like maybe inch me out. Like, I'm hoping to be 70 years old someday. At least that. Maybe not. Who knows if I get hit 80 or 90. But if I can crack 70 years old, that'll be that'd be great. Freaking great, you know? Um Number 8, turn-ons. Oh, let me not get too Sucio on like a public stream. Like, my mom could watch this. Ugh, hi mom. Turn-ons? I don't know. Uh, Golly gee, let's say eye contact, because I'm a very shy person. If I see somebody attractive, I'm gonna look at the floor. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look past the person's face or something like that. So if like you're not breaking eye contact and you're like smiling at me, I'm probably gonna be head over heels. And that's just the way that I'm wired. Turn offs. Okay, super. If you okay, here's an easy one. If you wear a mask and you wear it under your nose or on your chin or not at all when like you're on a bus or on the subway or at work. Oh, that's disgusting. Like, clearly you don't value your life. Oh, I have the vaccine. Congratulations. I'm glad that you do, but wear your mask correctly. Wear two. It's Omicron, yo. Come on. Ugh, gross. Last breakup. Hmm. I'll be vague about this because I need me and my therapist need to process that. Um. So okay, I don't mind telling this story. So I put up I changed my profile picture on Facebook, and the person I was seeing at the time made a comment, and one of my friends was like, "Whoa, what was with that comment? I don't like your tone." And they went to a back and forth, and I ended up agreeing with what my friend was saying about my partner, and she was like, "Why didn't you have my back during that little spat online?" And I'm like, I happen to think that my friend was right and you were wrong. And we were in a really like bad relationship. And yeah, it was I stayed in it longer than I should have. I should have had the nuts to say, I'm not the man for you. I'm clearly doing a bad job and I shouldn't be trying to force this to work. So, like I said, I tell my partner at the time, hey, like my friend was right about what they said about you, and she didn't like me saying so, and so she said she was done, and I'm like, sweet, honestly, changed my Facebook status and went on my merry way. I think I was like in rehearsals for a musical I was in at the time, The Drowsy Chaperone. It's not aged so well in some aspects, but it was a lot of fun to be in. So the next day, I'll never forget because myself, my brother, and my mom went to go cast our ballots. This is when Hillary and Bernie were still like battling for the position to go against Donald Trump. And I voted for Bernie, and my mom dropped me off at work. And my ex is like blowing up my phone, like, yo, take me back, change the status on Facebook. And I'm like, nah, like it's done with. And man, like I'm glad that we broke up, but like that first like 6 months was really, really hard. I remember on the last performance of that musical I was in, that local musical I was in, my friends were like, yo, we're at like the buffet slide. And I'm like, nah, I'm not in the mood. And like it was like I was never gonna see like any of those people again after the musical. And they were all so talented and so nice. I think I maybe like keep in touch with one person, my gay grandfather. Hi John, I love you. But like I didn't know what to do with myself. And so oh again, also, hey, black guys, if you're just like having an emotional hard time, do everything in your power to say, I'm having a rough go. Can somebody talk to me? Maybe you can't afford therapy. Thankfully, I pay like $15 a session, but now I know that everybody has that opportunity. So, like, say, if there's like a mentor that you have, an older person who's like, oh, let me like pull you to the side so you can like, like get it out of your system, or like an older relative or an older friend, anyone who knows who's going to be like, keep it real with you, do that. Don't keep it all to yourself because it's going to do bad stuff to your brain. But enough of that. Phobia, tryptophobia. Yeah, I don't recommend looking that up. Just like seeing a lot of holes in stuff, like on a maybe a person's face. Not to give you a visual, but like seeing a lot of holes, oof, just gives me the goosebumps. Or like say, being trapped in a tight space. That's, oh, I don't like that stuff at all. Like that movie Ryan Reynolds was in when he was like trapped in a coffin alive. I don't like that stuff one bit. No, that's terrifying to me. Favorite YouTuber. All right, y'all gonna love this. Okay, here we go. Because there are a lot of people I love on this site, but I think I'm gonna give it to the homie with 171 subscribers. I'm about to change the pinned comment. Surprise, surprise, it's Juju F. Subscribe, subscribe to the homie. Big things, putting in the work, streaming, reviews, great insight. We have similar haircuts. This was like red. Hold up. You already fucking know the vibes, okay? I'm down for the team. You already fucking know. Yeah, that's my favorite YouTuber. Like, if y'all really wanted like a list, I could put one up. But for now, it's for the one who's actually still here. So there's that. Aha. Number 14. So like this could be a very weird question depending on the kind of like space you are in with your partner. Cause like I'll be out with my partner, I'll be like, yo, that person's gorgeous. Or we'll watch like TV or a movie. And I'm like, wow, this person's like stunning. Ugh. And so one of my homies is like, who's like asked the crush question on Facebook. And I'm like, who can I say without it being like freaking weird? And so I picked one of my biases from K-pop. I picked Hyolyn from Sistar. And there's a lot of like great solo stuff like Summer or like Dolly or Say My Name and things like that. But I prefer like the songs like My Boy or like I Like That or Touch My Body. All like the good Sistar comebacks. Those like the top three anyway. Yeah, Hyolyn from Sistar. That's, I think everybody should have a crush on Hyolyn. Like, and folks, like if you're gonna like pick a bias, make sure like you're in the age range for the group, and that's for guy groups and girl groups. Like, don't make it freaking weird. Like, follow like the rule that if the song doesn't slap without the video, maybe the song's not that good. Like, that's just my take as an older person in like the K-pop world. Chapter 15, favorite singer. Hmm. I'll just like pick one off the top of my head. I'm a big fan of like, I'll pick one. You know what? Here, I love Warren Dumas. Look at the song "To You." It's a good R&B banger. And then I also love like artists like Janelle Monáe. Like, I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time. There, get two. Number 16 was childhood career choice. A lot of people ask me that on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, someone already asked that. Pick a different question. But I ended up saying things like I wanted to be a baker or like a basketball player, a baseball player, an actor. Like things that seem like kind of fun when you're a kid. You don't really think about like the hard work it like takes to do those sort of things. I just knew sports wasn't gonna be it because my old man put me in baseball. I sucked. Like I played soccer when I was in ninth grade. We lost every game. We ran way too much. I did not enjoy that at all. Ugh. And then what's the third sport that I played? Was there any more? I played church league basketball, and that was fun because I was relatively friendly with the dudes at the church I went to at the time. But like, man, I'm not as aggressive as one needs to be to really be good at basketball, but it's super fun. But personally, I like badminton. Badminton is a real sport, if you ask me. I should have like my mom joked about how she was gonna like pack me up and send me off to like Asia somewhere so I could go pro playing badminton. That would have been freaking sweet. I'm not gonna lie. If that's still possible, I would gladly do that if the money was worth it. Let's see. Um, Number 17 is if I ever lost a loved one. I already mentioned my dad, but last year, I lost my grandmother, my mom's mom, Miss Iris Thomas. She was very pivotal to the way that I was raised, filled with like love and laughter and song and comedy and like music are obviously very important to me. And like just being empathetic and just kindness to others is what she instilled in me. So Grandma Thomas, I love you very much. I need to visit my mom's side of the family more often. It's like a goal of mine should cases go down in the near future. So knock on wood for that. Let's see. Nickname. So as you can see on screen, I use my actual government for like my persona. But when I was going to tech school, I needed like an on air name. And at the time, I chose Chris Ducky. Let me tell you like the origin story of Chris Ducky, if y'all would be so interested to hear. Now, as you can see, my middle name Kennard kind of have y'all ever seen this word? I'm gonna type it out and pop it up on the screen. Unless I'm mistaken, that's like the French word for duck. And so in middle school, when I wasn't so popular, they're like, "Dog, why is your middle name Duck?" Like it's the French word for duck. That's hilarious, and I thought it was awful, but like it stuck. And so when I chose it in radio school, one of my my dear friends, Couture, great rapper by the way, Chaotic Couture, Baltimore, stand up, um, took it upon themselves to call me Chris Ducky from Kentucky, the Black Hand of Montana, because anyone who knows me in real life knows how suburbanized I am, and that's how it's kind of like colored my presentation to the world, like fucking like Tom from the Boondocks, but not as much as a punk. You know what I'm saying? It's so like that was just like the whole thing, and that was so funny to me. But like the tougher guys in my class, like, nah, you can't call him that. Why you calling him like the Black Hannah Montana? That's weird. I'm like, no, 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 it's funny. I thought it was funny, and it's like, hey, let me be like offended if it offends me. If it made me uncomfortable, I would have been like, nah, don't call me that. But I thought it was endearing. And when we had like a Secret Santa during tech school, someone bought me a Hannah Montana mic, and I never used it. I should have used it because it's been so funny. But that was the goal. So sidebar story time. Um, when I left tech school, the people who ran the school, they were like, "Yo, you can't leave the program without employment or an internship or a really good resume." And I had to have a good resume and a good audition tape. I had a decent audition tape. I think I put them on SoundCloud somewhere. And so I'm thinking, because I got into university right out of high school, and I'm like, oh, I do not want to go to. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Put this bumper back up here. There we go. And so like I get into like college, right? I got to a decent college. I was going to go to Purdue University. I did for like a semester, but I got into the school. I'm terrified. I sucked at school. And my old man was like, "You have to go to college." My parents met in college, whatever. And my mom, she dropped out twice before she got her degree. And so she kind of felt like understood the pressure I was under. So she's like, "Go to this tech school, see how it's like." I was there for like 6 months, finished the program, decent audition tape, decent resume. And I found a radio station, top 40 station in the city where I was supposed to like be going to school. And I had a friend at the time who lived in that town. And he was like, "Yo, crash on my floor with my family until you go to university." And so I was crashing on his floor. We hadn't seen each other since middle school. So we're like, "Oh, yeah, turn up with the homie, listening to music, whatever." And I'm like cutting commercials for like this top 40 station. And they were going to be like, "Yo, you live in Indiana now. we're going to the Indy 500 and we're going to like do some promo. And I was stoked. I'm like, oh, I never been to one of these NASCAR events. It's going to be so tight. But me and my friend, man, it's hard living with your friends when you've been apart for so long because we had different perspectives on life. And so our like combativeness was like bringing down the vibe in the house. Like his parents were like, yo, like, I think you need to leave. And I had to. I was in the wrong. I think he was in the wrong too, to an extent. But the fact remains is that when I ended up coming back home and I call him on the phone, he's like, oh, the friendship is over. And that was like my first ever real breakup with a friend. And I almost couldn't accept it. Like at one point I called him, I was texting him and calling him back, like, yo, we need like actual closure. We're gonna end the friendship. And his dad's like, if you love him like you say that you do, you're gonna let him go. And I did. And I hope he's well. And maybe it was for the better, considering the kind of the perspective on things that he had. This dude like gave side eye to Chester Bennington, may he rest in peace, for getting a divorce. Son, what? Ugh, not even gonna go down that conversational road. Yeah, all that to explain my freaking nickname, Chris Ducky. Then, but when I went back to that school and I went back on the mic because they had like a local station on the corner, and my radio teacher's like, "Oh, no, 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 Chris Ducky, that's like a kid's persona. You need a real, like, you need like an adult persona." And that's how Chris Kennard started. It's my real name. I met a lot of Chris's in this world online, Chris Christopherson, but I never met a single Kennard. That's my shit. So like, I hope I never do meet another Kennard, or hope they don't go public. Like, I'd like to go public someday. Question 20. We're halfway there. Look at that. Question 20. Words that upset me the most. Is it a cop out if I say the hard R? Yeah, like, yeah, let's do that. Let's go down that road for a little bit. If you use slurs, like slurs you're not allowed to use, I'm gonna be like, hold on, why are you saying that? Don't say that. Like, at the job I'm working at right now, some younger coworker of mine was using the T slur, and I'm like, you can't say that. That's like a hate crime. If you're going to refer to a person from that community, you say this instead. You don't say that word. Like, you're going to lose your job, one, and two, like, that's not how we address people. And it almost made me nervous because it's like, whoa, like, what would possess you to like use that term? Because it's like, I live in Pennsylvania. I live in the city of brotherly love, and I'm like, why is there just why do people just casually say just like terms like this? And it's like, ugh, I'm raised in the suburbs. I was raised in a bubble, and like real people in real life speak a certain way. And like it was hard for me to get used to that. Like, my people love saying like the R word out here. And I almost like I can't even just and like all well, man, I feel like it's the city in general that's more comfortable using that term. And I'm like, you get stomped out for saying that shit where I'm from. So it's like, wow, like people say things so casually, and I don't like that. Like, I wish people would be a little bit more like follow the fucking golden rule, y'all. Damn, is it that hard? Oh my gosh. There we go. Question 21. The idea of a perfect date. I have my partners asked me this question before, but I'm not gonna give y'all the same answer I gave to them. Um, Perfect date. I think I will give that answer just a little more like PG. Perfect date. You wake up. We go to our favorite local restaurant for breakfast. Shout out to 2NE2. And then maybe we'll hang out with some friends, and oh, you know what? And then we'll do some karaoke. I've been dying to do some karaoke. That's ultimately what I hope to do on TikTok for my charitable event, is like, if you like pay me, like, I don't know, or pay like the charity, not me, oh my god, not me, you pay the charity like, I don't know, like $10 or some shit, I will sing a song. Maybe perhaps the song you select. So tell all your friends to follow Chris Kennard on TikTok. Pow pow bang bang. So yeah, breakfast out, karaoke, maybe some bowling, um a movie, like this is all happening one day. Like, we're doing a lot of shit. Um Dinner out, maybe at like my favorite Indian place, New Delhi in South Philly. Oh, best samosas in the whole tri-state area. Try and tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. And then sleep after that, probably, honestly. I think the only other thing that can make it more perfect is after dinner, we go home and like listen to some music together, like just play songs back and forth, back and forth. Like, this is the kind of shit that I enjoy, you know? I like build my partner a playlist of songs I want them to hear because today, like, we're making lunch or we're meal prepping for their job, and I played the Justin Bieber "Little Drummer Boy" song that features Busta Rhymes, and they're laughing, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is so cringy, right?" And I learned that they've never heard "Woo Ha Got You All in Check," and I'm like, I know Busta Rhymes is a bit of a controversial figure right now with his anti-masker stance, but if you love hip hop, real hip hop, you have to hear "Woo Ha Got You All in Check" at least once. It is a rite of motherfucking passage. That song is so funny. Which motherfucker stole my flow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So amazing. They don't. There aren't a lot of rappers that make the kind of music like that these days. Maybe like Tizo Touchdown and Ski Mask, but not so much else. Maybe like Thugger in one variety, Cardi, I guess, but we're not talking about those guys right now. Question 22. One of my insecurities. I'm one of those people that think that like everybody hates me. And if I like misread an interaction in any way, it's like, oh, they fucking hate me. I'm the worst person who ever lived. I'm working on it. I promise I'm in therapy. Let's not dwell on that too long. Question 23. I'll love you. All right, here we go. So, like, obsessed with music, passionate for music. Like, look up Spirit Box, greatest metal band ever. So I'm on Spotify a lot. And I make a lot of people personalized playlists. If you go to my channel on YouTube right now, a lot of the playlists that I've made are for other people. And oftentimes I'll make the thing and I'll be like, here, it's done. Please let me know what you like and disliked. They'll say thanks. And that'll be the end of that. And that's not to be shady because I made a lot of playlists for a lot of people. People have busy lives. But I wish people had more time to be like, I checked it out. Here's what I liked. Here's what I didn't like. Because oftentimes I'll make because if it it's like one of two things. One, they'll be like, "Oh, thanks for making it," and then the conversation will end. Or option two is I listen to it. Oh, what you like and dislike. I liked the whole thing. Come on, really? My taste is weird. Like, maybe people are more adventurous than I think, but it's like nothing was like, oh, I don't know about all this. I want to know what people don't like. I want to know what people don't like. This was my problem with radio because, like, I want to be the kind of person that's like, this new Adele is mid and we all need to talk about it. And because then that's going to create engagement with like the people working at the station, like it could like you could say some things that could probably make you lose your job, but it's like I don't want to lie to like the consumer about the songs because the ads don't really matter to me. Like you can get ad placement wherever and whenever from local or like national brands, but it's like, yo, this Migos song is terrible. Yo, why the fuck are we still listening to Chris Brown in 2021? That's the kind of shit I want to say. You can't say that on radio. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's killing local radio for me. Terrestrial radio, it needs to it needs to be more honest with the consumer. And it's not. And I understand because people have to pay their bills. But fuck that. Like, let's have an honest engagement about songs so that when people get nominations at the Grammys, you're not saying, who the fuck is this bozo? You know? Question 24. Most traumatic experience. Shit. Okay. I was stuck up when I was in Baltimore at one time. My friends bought a house and my partner and I were staying and staying over for the day. I think the night or whatever. And my partner's like, yo, let's make them breakfast. Go out to this grocery store and buy me these things. I got turned around, went to the wrong spot. So I call my person on the phone, like, yo, give me directions, give me turn by turn directions. I'm on the phone, I'm walking, and this guy, he steps in front of me and won't move. I'm trying to say, excuse me. He's mumbling under his breath. Like, wait, what? And shows me the hammer. And he's like, give me what you got in your wallet. And I'm like, shit, man, And I just give him my money and he keeps it pushing. But he could have taken my phone, he could have taken the wallet, he could have shot me. He didn't. And I'm so glad he didn't. And what what I didn't like is that my partner stole the phone. I'm like, yo, I just got robbed. And they say, come home right now. And I'm like, oh, of course, definitely. I'm trying to uh go a different direction so they don't follow me back to where I was. And my partner's like out on the porch, no shoes. I'm like, get in the house. I'm fine. They're crying, and I didn't like that they were like afraid that I could have been killed. And I also was like sad that dude had to stick me up. It's like, what's going on in your life that you have to do that? And I hate that. That's like a thing you have to resort to. Because what if I had the piece and I pull it and like we shoot one another, or I killed that guy, and like I called the fucking police, and I wish I hadn't, because I was staying at a place with two queer black people, and like big surprise, I sent two fucking white cops and they want to take me to the station. And my partner's half white. So they say, I want to stand with you when these fucking pigs come up, because who knows what they're going to want or say. And they're like, oh, do you want to come to the station and make a statement? And I'm like, no, because I was going to be like, oh, hey, I got stuck up at this corner. Keep somebody there so it doesn't happen to somebody else. And this is like years ago. I'm way more woke now. I don't call the fucking police. They have police on my job. I hate that shit. But no, like I was fine. Like nothing happened to me, but something could have happened to me. And like people that I know who like know Baltimore is like, well, that's what happens, and like keep your fucking head up and don't let this shit happen to you again. And if that dude's out there, you probably don't even remember me, but like I hope that you don't have to do that shit no more, because shit's fucked up. Hate this country. Number 25. Reason I've lied to a friend. I have um okay, two reasons. I have or would only lie to a friend to protect their feelings, or because I dropped the ball on something said I was going to do but do not do. Like, oh, like I'll get back to you like at this time or at this date and I never do. That's basically a lie in my opinion. And so friends, if I've ever lied to you, or like I apologize, because lying is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's obvious. Like Christian or not, like lying is bad. Like don't lie to people, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like even like the little white lies are just like if you're saying like lying to protect yourself out in public, like I understand that obviously, but the friends, ooh, fam, like we should be honest with our friends. Like they're our friends for a reason, right? Okay, question 26. What I hate about myself. I hate that I don't ask for help when like I'm telling like, oh, black dudes like prioritize their physical and mental health, because I haven't done that in the past. And I don't like that I do not advocate for myself more. Um, Based on the way that I was raised and how I've been treated in public, you create like yeah, self-worth is can be a very tricky thing, you know? And so I wish that I gave myself more of a chance. Um it's almost as if I kind of resent myself for being a depressed fuck, but that's my bag and I have to deal with it. Yeah, I wish I showed myself the grace that I show others. And it's a path that I'm walking on. Yeah. Um, Next question is number 27. What I love about myself. And one of my coworkers asked me this, and what I told her was that I love that I'm still the same enthusiastic, goofy kid I was in the third grade when I went to public school for the first time. And I wanted everybody to be my friend, and I wanted to just have a good time. And now I'm older and I understand that not everyone should be your friend, but like I still want to like go to work and like enjoy myself while I'm there. Like give people like my first job was at a mall. I worked in like the Hallmark store, and my manager was like, "Yo, customer service, it's dead." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" This is my first job when I dropped, well, my second job when I dropped out of college. And I'm like, "Oh, like what are you talking about, lady? What do you mean customer service is dead?" And so customer comes in and she's like, "Oh, hi, can I help you find anything?" And like you get that look like, ugh, you just like spit at me. And I understand that not a lot of people want to interact with strangers, but when they actually come to you, like if you're in like retail or whatever, and it's like, oh, hey, can you help me? It's like, yeah, I do want to help you because I want you to have like a positive experience when you're spending your money on stuff. Because I hate when like people ask me stuff when I'm at work and I can't answer their questions, or the people I direct them to can't answer their questions. It bums me out. Like I want, if you like are kind enough that you want to speak to me and don't know me, it's like I want you to like enjoy the interaction. And especially in a time of like a pandemic where we're not supposed to be like close to one another and stuff like that. Like since people are having such a hard time these days, why wouldn't you want to like brighten someone's day and like give them that dose of positive mental attitude and stuff like that? So that's what I love about myself. Number 28, three habits that I have. I answered this question. I liked what I said, so I'm gonna pull it up again. Shout out to Y. You know who you are. Thanks, Y, for asking on Facebook. Three habits about myself. I can only read a book when I have it in my hand. What do I have? I have this is I haven't started this yet, but this is Rosemary and Rue, an October Day novel by Shannon McGuire. I follow this author on Twitter. Very talented. My partner, my friend, love this series. So I have to read it physically because I can't like listen to audio books. Like I can't like scroll and read it on my phone. I've done it before, but only because I was reading to somebody else. So it was not that I have a hard time like taking in the media. I can only eat every 4 hours. Like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow around 8ish, give or take, and I'll have some cereal, and then I'll if I finish the meal by 9, I have to wait 4 more hours before I was like, ooh, pop a snack or something like that. And then when I'm watching those shows that I mentioned earlier, I can only watch them shows when I'm eating. Like my partner and I would go to a friend's place, and it's like we're ordering food together, and I wouldn't, and we get our food. I'd like eat like, oh, we're gonna watch on Netflix today. I wouldn't eat my food, even though it's in my plate, on my lap, fork in hand. I'm not eating that food until the episode starts or whatever the fuck we're watching. It's just something that it's the way I've become now. Like at work, I have to like be listening to someone on YouTube or on Spotify, or it's not gonna happen. And that's just the way it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So that's number 28. Number 29, what pissed me off lately. Okay, let's get a little political, shall we? If it wasn't clearly obvious, I'm super leftist, um, super progressive, and things of that nature. What pissed me off, so the president, Joe Biden, um recently was going to put forth some legislation about businesses requiring staff to be vaccinated or getting weekly tests. And a lot of people left their jobs because they didn't want to get the vaccination. That is their choice, and I don't respect that choice, but it's their choice to make. And so I thought, and I don't really know much about politics, but I'm thinking, Joe, like, don't say, oh, this is the legislation I want to introduce when you don't even have the shit written. If you have, like, because, like, if I'm Joe Byron and I'm like, yo, I want to introduce this kind of legislation and I'm going to sign this shit tonight, oh, baby. Like, everyone else has to, like, get their ducks in a row. But the fact that Joe's like, I want to do this thing, but like I don't have anything and I won't have it for a month, that gives all of your opponents enough time to ramp up like their defenses. Cause it's clear that like nobody wants to work with you, Joe. And like he can live his life in a way not giving a fuck. And look at the way he's handled the student loans. He's like, yeah, I ran on like saying I'd excuse that shit, but I want to make you pay. And it's like, you don't have to. And then there's the fucking thing about the fucking military spending. They're spending so much money on military, but like folks are dying in this country. They're not able to go to the doctor or the hospital because there's no space for them. And we're just dropping so much money on military. I'm very anti-war, so I don't like us spending so much money on shit that like no, like the pressing issue isn't like enemies from abroad, and like we're in the fucking United Nations. So if there were enemies abroad, like I'm sure our allies would be like, "Oh, America, there's some evil guys over here. We're gonna take care of them. Make sure you get those cases down." We're not getting these cases down. The cases are going up, and it's negligent, and I fucking hate it. There, that's what pissed me off lately. Number 30 is the most recent lie. Huh. Hot seat. What? Oh, what have I lied about recently? Uh, I don't like to keep track of that shit. What I've lied about recently. You know what? I often find myself lying at work because um, people say, "Can you do this thing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, totally." And like, I'll say that so they'll go away, but I'll also not do it. I'm not gonna like bring up specifics because who knows if the feds are watching and they're like, "Hey, we heard you said on YouTube Live, you're out of here." Like, God forbid. Yeah, like, I have a very stressful work environment, so I will like sometimes like tell a customer what they want to hear, so they'll go away. Oh man, it's like, oh, I'm sure they'll be here tomorrow. No, they won't. I don't know. Even if I did know, I'm not going to tell you so you can pull up on them. Ugh, forget that. There. Question 31, only 9 questions left. Let's see here. What I find attractive in other people. Somebody asked this about me. Let's see what I wrote. What did I write in particular about that? There we go. I said humor and enthusiasm, and yeah, those things are very important to me. Like to see someone's like to see their eyes light up about the thing that they care about the most. I love to see that in people. Yeah, like besides just like beholding someone that you think is like the bomb.com, it's like to see them express joy and like to see someone who's like actually funny. Like I want to be around the kind of people that are like actually funny to me and want to like see like the beauty in the little things. That means a lot to me. Let's see. Question 32. Have I ever cheated on one? Yes. I cheated on the person that I broke up with that I mentioned earlier. And that's when I should have broken things off. It said, "Oh, I cheated and like I'm not worthy to be your person any longer because I snuck around behind your back and you don't need that." You know, I was in a long distance relationship and I wasn't built for it. I haven't been in the past, and I might as well say it online. Hey, I'm sorry that I cheated. It wasn't cool that I did that. Yeah, I mean, like y'all, if you're gonna cheat on your person, I think you should break up with your person, unless like you're like gonna like take explicit action to like fix the mess that you've made. Like I feel like you need to just like take a permanent L when you cheat on a person. The relationship should have ended when I cheated, and I regret that shit. Like the relationship wasn't. It was my first like really like legit relationship, and so that does not really bode well. And yeah, yeah, if you cheat, like you're done. Honestly, that's the way that it should be. Yeah, I have cheated on someone. I'm not like not my finest moment. Like being greedy is a yucky feeling. I gotta say. Question 33. What makes me cry? There was this last year during like the George Floyd uprisings. I recall being on Twitter just doom scrolling, and there was this particular interaction at a protest with two older black gentlemen arguing on what like the best course of action was to prevent more cop killings in our community, and like they can't seem to agree on what the best solution is going forward. But one of them pulls like a younger guy and he's like, "We're out here for people like him, black men like him." And he looks at this kid and he's like, "Listen, your generation has to find a way because my generation can't do this. We've let you down." And he's like, "I have a son at home and I don't know what to tell him how we're going." And like he's crying, he's yelling, and I'm breaking down. It's it's my trigger. I don't like to witness black men's trauma in real life. I can't handle it. Like, my dad didn't have a dad. And even when he did the best that he could, there were still some areas where he fell short. And so when I see black fathers who are doing everything that they can and like awful things still happen, like the the murder of their children getting killed by fucking police officers, I can't handle that shit. I'm not built for it. Like you won't like I'm like Kimberly Foster from Dear Harriet. You won't catch me at a protest. I'm never gonna put myself in a position where I can be like unjustly arrested for anything like. Nah, I'm gonna be here at my desk. I want to like like send emails, talk here on this microphone, make phone calls, raise money. Because yeah, I'm not built for that. I'm I can't. Uh, there have been some like murders of black people via cop that I cannot even bear witness to. Yeah, shit's fucked. Um, Question 34. What makes me laugh? You know what makes me laugh? Caleb City. Caleb City, King Vader, Hard Stop Lucas, folks like that. RDC World. I love when see, like, again, here's like the current generation in the trenches doing the hard work. This shit is like, that's almost funny. Just like seeing, like, yo, like in 2018, I read John Lewis's like comic book about like his life in the civil rights movement, and such fucked up things happened to him and his friends and his colleagues. And reading that, like, I just got a copy of his like autobiography for my mom, and like I'm gonna have a hard time reading that shit. And like just hearing about what happened to like Malcolm X, when he's being followed by the feds, and how like he got murdered by people from his own religious community who like were unhappy with the way that he was moving out here. Dog, like, it's, what's fucking funny is that like we're outnumbered by all these fucking white people and they hate us. There are clearly more white people in the world than African Americans, Africans, like Spanish people, Asian people, and they fucking hate us. They want to get rid of us all. And it's like, what the fuck is the big deal, dog? There's more of you than there are of me, and you're still upset. That's fucking hilarious. Like, y'all have the advantage and you still fucking suck at being alive. Imagine that. That's hilarious. Question 35. The worst thing you could do to me. The worst thing you could do to me is like not keep me informed on something that I think I need to know. Like, if I need to know something or you want me to know something and you don't tell me until it's too late, I hate that shit. Don't do that to me. Ugh. Put this banner up. Subscribe to Juju F. Do it. Even if this is live when you're watching this, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That shit actually matters. You have no idea how many times I logged into this fucking website and it's like, oh, such and such uploaded. Let's fucking go. Period. Question. Uh, Question 36. Childhood confession. When I was in third grade, I only had one friend, Ryan Goodwin. And then when I after third grade, I went back to homeschool because I was not cut out for public school. I came back in the fifth grade, and I don't know why I didn't stay in touch with Ryan. And I think we even reconnected in high school, but like so much time had passed between then. And that sucked. Yeah. I don't know if that really counts as a confession, but I don't like losing friends. I don't do well when I lose friends. And so Ron Gubin, I hope wherever you are, you're well. You know what I'm saying? I know you had it's clear you had a rough go of it. I think it's why we became friends, because we were like the outcasts, you and I. And so I hope you can forgive me for like not staying in touch. I was oof, that's rough. I remember I'm not sure if it's related, but like my parents were friends with two other couples when they were in college, and they all had kids around the same time. So like family A and family B, I'm very close to their offspring. And family A moved to Japan for 7 years, and they're like my best buddies. And it was weird not seeing them like every other weekend and such. And they came right back, and we got back to business, but like they came back. They could have never come back. And it would have sucked if I had forgotten about them or something. So kudos. I empathize with you. So that's rough. Um we have like four left. Favorite book. I'm gonna pick this book up. Give me like 1 second. It's over there. I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back. And we're back. Let me see if I can get it. There you go. This is The Startup Wife by Tamima Anam. I actually one of my buddies from high school, we were chatting and I mentioned this book, and I read the in the back of the book for him. So I'm gonna read it for y'all because I think this book is super dope so far. Meet Asha Ray, brilliant coder and possessor of a pie tattoo. Asha is poised to revolutionize artificial intelligence when she is reunited with her high school crush, Cyrus Jones. Cyrus inspires Asha to write a new algorithm. Before she knows it, she's abandoned her PhD program, they've exchanged vows, and they've moved into an exclusive tech incubator called Utopia. Here, they are surrounded by quirky futurists engineering mechanical bees and lab grown superfoods. Their platform creates a sensation with millions of users seeking personalized rituals every day. Will their marriage survive the pressures of sudden fame? Or will Asha become overshadowed by the man everyone is calling the new Messiah? And so I'm reading this with my partner every night. We didn't get to read a new chapter today, but hopefully we'll do one tomorrow night. I mean, I guess tonight because it's like 1 in the morning EST. So yeah, The Startup Wife, Tamima Anam. I love this kind of stuff. Let's wrap it up. Let's see. Favorite quote? When I was in high school, my favorite quote was "Que sera sera," what will be, will be. But these days, I love this one musician in particular from Canada, Devin Townsend, one of the most talented musicians of our time. If you love heavy metal, you've got to listen to like anything he's been a part of, like Casualties of Cruel, Strapping Young Lad. He did vocals for Steve Vai at one point, Devin Townsend Project, Devin Townsend Band. He has a great podcast, the Devin Townsend Podcast. He tells a great story during one of his guitar clinics about how Chad from Nickelback inspired him to like keep it real. But on his song Grace, he has at one point he just like screams, "Never fear love." And I remember almost crying listening to that song, or at least like the live version from like the Retinal Circus performance of that song. And like the gospel a cappella group, um, they have a song called ILOVEU. Wait, no, yeah, ILOVEU or something like that. And like they quote from the Bible that love never fails. And I have a very complicated relationship with Christianity these days, but if there's one thing I actually sincerely believe is that love never fails. You know what I'm saying? If there isn't a perfect almighty being like controlling everything, And I certainly still believe in love because I love music and I love art and I love my partner and I love my friends, and that kind of shit keeps me alive. It inspires me to like wake up in the morning. Like I love talking to my coworkers every day because I don't have time for friends in like a fucking pandemic. So never fear love, because like if like it if you ever seen like uh hairspray with like Zach Efron and Queen Latifah, they have that without love number. Like it, it's cheesy, but like what else is there? What's the point of all this bullshit if like you don't love yourself or you love something out there in this world? Like seriously, never fear love. Devin Townsend, amazing artist. Gotta check him out. Favorite poem. This is a tough one. I don't know if I can pick out one in particular because, and I was raised on like Shel Silverstein, and I'm not sure I'd pick one of his poems to be like my favorite. But I don't know, like listen to folks like Amanda Gorman and like Rupi Kaur. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. Let me just put it up right here. And I'm gonna Google her to make sure I'm not like screwing that up. Hang on a minute. I didn't like click on my laptop as much as I thought it would tonight, so I'm glad that I have so much to say. Yeah, Rupikaur. I follow her on Facebook, and I like what she has to say. So check her out. I guess she'll have to count for my favorite poet as of late. Let's go up real quick. Once again, I want to remind y'all, Juju F, subscribe, like a video, like a couple of videos, leave some comments. We want some engagement. Let's get our friend up to 300 freaking subscribers. 200, yes, obviously, but that's going to be a given considering like the rate they're going these days. But 300, I'm trying to hit 300 and trying to get them to 300. You know the vibes, bang. Okay, last question. Okay, here's the call to action, folks. You already know that like I have a link in the description for the Metal for Brains podcast for one of the hosts, Corey. Um, a tweet you can retweet and share on social medias. Um, like donate to like their Cash App. If you can't do that for me, leave me a comment. Ask me something. I am always in the comments on YouTube. It makes me so sad when I'm listening to a song on YouTube and I can't leave a comment. So please leave a comment, leave a question. I hope that if you celebrated Christmas this year, you had a good Christmas. If you had a bad one, I'm so sorry. I hope next Christmas isn't as bad as this one was if it was really terrible. Um, when I'm doing a podcast, I usually end with this. Um, wear your mask over your nose, under your mouth, and listen to more heavy metal and drink more water. Here, let's drink some together. Water's good for you. Drink more water and um, treat yourself with kindness and follow the golden rule. Queer lives matter, Black lives matter. I'm going to try and do more of these in the new year. As you can probably guess, I have a lot to say. Hey, water. Shout out to water, yo. Like, protect water. Um, give Native communities their land back. America was built on stolen land. It was built on the bodies of my people and like the natives who were here before any of those freaking settlers and colonists got there. Across the world, give the land back to the native people who was there. Get the fucking Americans out of Hawaii and Alaska, motherfucker. Get America out of Puerto Rico. Like, don't even get me started. Like, question 40 is ask me anything else. If you have a question, leave a comment. Um yeah, like subscribe to Juju F, and I will see y'all next time. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christless. Wait, Merry Crisis, Merry Chrysler, Merry Crimmets. Ho ho ho. Thanks for listening.